Call this February 10th Jackson County Commission meeting to order. Have a roll call.
District 1, Mr. Duffy. Present. District 2, Mr. Bevel. Present. District 3, Mr. Miller. Present. District 4, Mr. Redmond.
Present.
Quorum is present, so we can conduct business this evening. We'll have our invocation by Mr. Porter and our pledge by Mr. Miller.
Lord God.
First item is approval of the minutes from our January 27th meeting. We've had time to review those minutes. Are there any changes before we proceed? Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next item is approval of the agenda. We have 11 items on the agenda this evening. Do we have any changes before we proceed? Do we have a motion to approve the agenda with those 11 items?
Make the motion.
Motion, have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. We've had no one sign up to speak for our public comments and no words of presentations, no old business, so we'll move directly to new business. The first item is regarding a resolution regards the guaranteeing of the levy of countywide sales tax. We can move forward with this tonight, but I'll ask Mr. Kane Burnett, if you would.
Yes, sir. My name's Alan Ziegler, and we're ready. Superintendent Harding, the Chief School Financial Officer Tina Hancock, and I are here. If there are any questions, this will enable the County Board of Education to put in place financing of capital improvements, including energy retrofit, which will work out to a substantial savings, operational costs for the school.
And what this resolution does is effectively confirms that we will continue these sales taxes in place until that.
Yes, sir, as long as the debt is outstanding.
So any questions or comments from the commission in regard to this?
Is there a limit of how long does this thing need to be in place? What are we guaranteeing? How long?
Well, the commission is consenting to the issuance by the county board of the debt and agreeing that it'll levy the tax. The debt will be in place for, it runs the last 25 years. The first of the two taxes, as you probably are aware, was levied in 1969, and then it was increased by a penny in 1997, and has been at that rate since then. And this tax is divided between the city system and the county system on a census-based formula that is dictated by the state of Alabama.
Any questions or comments? We're not responsible for we have no liability, I guess, with.
That's correct,
That's
sir.
correct. Questions, other questions or concerns? We can move forward. This is again the first time we presented that, and I apologize, Mr. Ziegler, I've asked to be here and answer any questions on this. We can move forward with this tonight as noted, or we can continue this to the next meeting, but entertain a motion to proceed or a motion to continue. If there are no further questions.
Make a motion to proceed.
Okay, motion to adopt the resolution. We have a second.
Second.
Do you have anything on this, Mr. Porter, anything to add?
I don't. Mr. Ziegler has pretty well explained it, that the taxes are already in place, and the only thing the commission is doing is assenting for bond purposes, really, for the issuance of the bonds, that those taxes will be pledged for the payment of the bond. And the commission has no financial responsibility for the repayment of the bond.
Anything else? Any other questions or comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, Next item is motion to approve the 2014 millage rates for the Revenue Commission Office. This was presented to us at the previous work session, so before any further discussion, we entertain a motion to proceed. Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion on this item? This is essentially what we've done, confirming it for the year, however, that these are the taxes that will remain in place for the upcoming year.
Mr. Chairman, how are these regulated? Does the state increase these for any purpose, or how do these come about?
It's my understanding that the portion that are ours are things that are done either by local law or in some cases by our local resolution, correct, in the case of those 2-cent sales tax. And the other, you've got state funds, it looks like, and then looks like there's Scottsboro millage rates on here also. So it's done by the entities that,
There's no growth in this at all?
not in the actual millage rates,
Okay.
not that I understand, you understand.
My understanding, these are the current millage rates, and they're just being confirmed. There's not any increase in any millage rate.
These entities would have to do, by law, change the millage rate. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next item is a motion to approve and sign the renewal contract with RDS. This was again presented to us at the previous work session. I believe this was the one we thought, no, that was the county. This is continuing our work with RDS as the tax collection agency. So are there any other questions before we proceed? Do we have a motion to renew or approve the list report at that time to review that?
Okay. This is similar to the one we signed last time.
Okay. Do we have a motion to proceed with the renewal of the contract?
I'll make that motion.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion on this item? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next item, resolution to participate in the ACC self-insurance liability form, or fund. I think, Mr. Porter, you did review this, and after we had talked at our work session last week, we said that we could actually cancel this within 60 days. That is not the case. We have a 3-year term, and it will be automatically renewed unless we notify them in writing 60 days prior to that renewal. Is that correct?
That's right.
So this is a 3-year term renewal for participating in this fund. Are there any questions or comments due to that change before we proceed? Do we have a motion to approve this item? Motion to approve this item?
Also,
Motion, we have a second?
second.
Okay. Any further discussion? And my understanding, Mr. Manning, I guess we just ended the current contract, is that correct?
That's
Do you know when this has to be submitted by? Can't remember what the deadline is on it. It starts in January
It
2015.
starts January 2015.
There's no changes from our old one, is it? It's the same.
And in addition to that, I believe by doing this within a certain time frame, we qualify for a rebate, is that correct?
That's correct. The rebate will be distributed in May of this year, and it's like 5% of the total amount, so, but you have to be in the fund to get the rebate.
That's the one we got the check from last year, right?
That's it.
Any other questions or comments? Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Next item is motion to authorize chairman to enter into agreement regarding TVA's usage of County Road 96. After the public hearing for County Road 96 a week or two ago, it's time that we make a decision on how we want to proceed with that. If you do this today, it'll allow me to sign an agreement with certain, what's the word I'm looking for, limitations to it. We want to ensure that the road is returned to proper surface once the project is done. I think one provision we had talked about is making sure that emergency, if in case of an emergency, emergency vehicles can access that area. And I think we need to include in that agreement that we have a contact number on who to contact if that is to happen. So let's discuss this very quickly and make sure we've got that outlined before we proceed. So other items that we need to include,
This agreement come back before the commission before it's signed.
we can.
You're gonna make sure they open it up after each business day, correct?
Correct.
They're gonna open it up every weekend.
And Mr. Harper, correct us if we're wrong, these are the things we discussed, correct?
That is correct.
So weekends, after business, each business day, in case of emergencies was something that was discussed and I think agreed upon. And then, do you remember, the months, we'll have that outlined in the agreement.
And then we'll research it when they're done. And
Right. And if it's the wish of the commission to have us come back to the commission, we can get that drawn up and have it at the next meeting, if that's what the commission wishes. Or we can, again, authorize for it to be signed once it's prepared. I'll be sure to get you a copy of that if you authorize it tonight before we sign it.
I'd just like to see a copy of it before it's signed.
Okay.
We have to come back with the commission. I would like to see a copy of it before it's signed.
So do we have a motion for that authorization?
Awesome.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any other questions or comments? We will get a copy of that prepared and make sure everyone's had time to review it. If there are any other things, we can bring that back to the commission meeting if necessary. So motion and second, anything further? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item, motion to approve the bridge inspection agreement. You have a copy of it's currently drafted. If we adopt tonight, will be the final form. This was prepared by you, Mr. Porter, is that correct?
Participated in drafting it. The city also had some language.
Okay.
We looked at it.
Okay. And everything appears to be in order?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if, I guess, Mr. Widener, you want to kind of clarify as to what this does?
The city of Scottsburg currently does not have a certified bridge inspector on staff. They have a new engineer, they have his license and all this. They have 3 bridges that they've asked us to help them out with on a one-time basis. And we're going, if the commission will approve this agreement, then we're going to help them out and inspect these bridges for them so they can get back in compliance with the bridge inspection that we all have.
So they're just asking us to grade the bridges.
I'm sorry.
They're just asking us to grade these.
Next, we'll inspect them, make recommendations to them, if any maintenance is needed or anything of that nature, what they need to do. The reason for the agreement, we don't really have any, if we find one, we have a problem with it, we can go out and fix it. The only thing we're doing is just checking it out, so we know what we need to do.
Any other questions or comments on that? As noted, this is just for a year, correct? Just for the one-time inspection.
It's just one time, and Mr. Porter actually drew it up so that we do it during the month of February. So we'll do it this month.
You're gonna
do that? You're gonna do that?
Year one, the inspector for it.
How much time will that take?
It takes probably about 3 or 4 months.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Porter, this whole harmless does say if he was to miss something in the world,
Right.
correct? Okay.
That's the purpose of the whole office.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay,
Let me just add, when the motion, if there is a motion to approve it, the motion needs to include that this would be in the public interest to approve this agreement. We can't really give away services, but we can if it is in the public interest.
Okay, so with that, we'll entertain a motion to approve this bridge inspection agreement with that understanding that this is to serve the public interest, correct? Correct. Okay. Do we have that motion? Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on this item? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay, the next item is a motion to approve the A-Trip loan. We've discussed this several times. We did originally postpone this from the last meeting. due to another entry. However, that entry was withdrawn. So at this time, we remain with the three originals that had been presented several times before. There's a copy of that if you still need that. We've got a copy over here. So at this time, any discussion on this, on how you wish to proceed?
I'd like to make a motion with one contract with First Jackson.
Okay. Have a motion to pursue this loan with First Jackson. Do we have a second?
Second that motion.
Okay, any discussion on this item? If we proceed with this, we will get on this right away. We've got, of course, a small one I think we've got to vote on tonight on this acre project, but we will have some of the larger projects coming up soon, so we'll need to have this set up. So, motion and second, any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay. The next item, motion to approve and sign a resolution in regard to the COA's third-party transportation services. This is an item that is done annually, confirming our relationship with the COA as far as the transportation goes. Have you had time to review this, Mr. Ford? I think it was.
I have.
Again, something standard that's done annually.
It is.
Okay. So again, this was first time we're bringing this up, so any questions or comments on this item? We'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution. Motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Next item is the motion to approve a resolution regarding local law. We had previously discussed in our budget meeting the issue regarding a local law regarding compensation. And this is a copy of that local law. I think everyone's taking a look at it. The italicized portions are the portions that have been changed. Is a motion or is it necessary for us to approve this to move it forward, or is this an
It is.
FYI? It is, okay.
The commission does need to approve submitting this to the delegation, requesting them to present to the legislature.
So in that budget discussion, we had a question on the benefits that were paid. This clarifies that and makes it firm so that we know what that amount will be from this point forward. So there will be no variation. So do we have any questions or comments on this?
You will not see any change in the way he's proceeded it now.
Yeah, this basically confirms the local law as specified. Are there any other questions or comments? To entertain a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second? Okay. This will be presented, if we pass this, we will present this to the legislative delegation immediately to get this processed and advertised. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item, motion to concur with ALDOT and award a HRIP project to Jackson Paving. Mr. Whiteman?
This is a second acre project that's come through the bid process in Montgomery. AlDOT, this is kind of a formality, we may always require the commission for the project located to concur in the award to the lowest responsible bidder. And this project here is County Road 470 up to Piper area, starts at Piper Church, Piper Store, and goes over to County Road 33. The low bidder on that project was Jackson Paving, and the low bid was, the total of everything was $223,200. Federal funds, HRIP funds will be using is $178,560. So the match on this project will be $44,640. And your approval, what you we do mention, I think it's spelled out on the agenda, will be concurred with AlDOT and award this project to Jackson Paving.
Okay, any questions or comments regarding this item? We received this morning, is that correct? Friday.
We drove the fax machine this morning when we got to work.
Oh. Any questions, comments? We have a motion to concur with the ALDOT award for the Sacred project.
So moved.
Motion, we have a second. Any discussion? This is a smaller one, correct? What would be the next project we have coming up?
The next one we have coming up, Mr. Chairman, will be, most likely will be the bridge replacement over Bryant Bridge on County Road 151. It was actually scheduled to be bid with this road, which was the last day of January. They took it out of the bid for, there was some questions about the bar material, and we expect it to be bid with the next bid, and the matching amount on that, if our estimate is correct, will be somewhere around about $205,000 for our match. It's about we estimate it to be just a little over $1 million project. And our estimate so far has been running pretty good. Estimate on 21, we mixed it down to $500, so hopefully we can stay in that ballpark.
Thanks, sir. Any other questions or comments?
Will our loan be ready by then?
I would think we're definitely for this 205,000. Anything else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Next item, motion to appoint a member to the vacant seat on the DHR board. This will be to fill the term of Julie Jones, and it'll be actually a replacement for that 6-year term, which will end now in 2019. So we've had one person that has requested to be on this board.
Ms. Janet Sage.
Been a long day. Ms. Janet Sage, that's the only request we've received so far, so at this time, we'll entertain a motion to make that appointment to this board, or entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on this particular appointment? I will note, I guess I should say, we've got 2 other appointments, and we will advertise for those as well. We've got 2 other appointments that ended in 13. I believe both were requests to be reappointed, but we're waiting a letter on that. And of course, anyone else that would like to serve on the DHR board can get us a letter by the next meeting, which is on the 24th. And we'll consider that for those 2 positions. So we have a motion and a second for Ms. Sage. Any further discussion, questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay. That concludes our agenda items. Move on to our reports. Mr. Manning? Mr. Wider?
I have one more thing to mention to the commission. We talked about it before, this is in Mr. Miller's district, County Road 67, we have some atrium fraud and stuff on it, we pay in. TVA owns the property in 67, they have a contract with a timber company, done timber for sale down through there, which is going to be a huge benefit to us. Because every time we get called out and say, we have one of those big trees across the road down there. So they're going to be, they've contracted with a contractor to cut a lot of those trees along their property through there. And we agreed with them, I talked with the chairman about this a few times, I think Mr. Miller a few times. We're going to, while they're cutting during the day, we're going to have to close the road off at Langston Gap and at 35 degrees. And we've got signs we want to be sure everybody around because the trees is going to be falling, on the road. We'll get this done before we do the paving of it. So we've talked about that. One thing, I'm glad the school board's here. We've in that agreement. I'm not sure if y'all have a school bus. I'm sure you do, but they're going to be sure to keep the road open in the morning for school buses and in the afternoon when they're coming through. So shouldn't be any problem in the hindrance to the school out through that. But it'll be there's a lot of trees that's about to fall and leaning. I know in Chairman Hodges mentioned it back there, y'all took office about the trees and the way they're leaning. So it'll be something I think it'll be good and the public interest gets this done. So just want to make everybody aware of it, and hopefully our media can get that in the paper and maybe even getting something in the paper about it also. And They're intending on starting sometime first, middle of March.
Did they give us a time frame on how long they thought it would take to complete the project?
Give it like 8 weeks, I said. He said it should be out there in 6, and said probably not.
Gonna reopen those every evening, huh?
Unless something, happens, yeah, that's fine, I would go there even when you get done. But, thank you.
All right, Mr. Porter?
I don't have that.
Chief Deputy?
No, sir.
Mr. Dillon?
No, sir.
Mr. Guthrie? Mr. Venable?
No, sir.
Mr. Levin?
No, sir.
That concludes the items on our agenda this evening, so we will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion, have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no.